Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast, A Gut Feeling. I am super excited for today. By the way, if you guys have been listening along, I'm on podcast 15 at this point, which, just time is flying and I'm having so much fun sharing all of this stuff with you. If you love the podcast, would you be so kind? I would so appreciate it if you would head over to iTunes and leave me a review. Again, I would so appreciate it because it just helps me stay afloat and helps me share with everybody. And so speaking of sharing, today I have a dear friend and colleague, Shanley Pearl, on the show. She is sharing about her healing journey. It's just so important for me to share people's healing journeys because when I was going through my illness, I felt so alone. I was like, okay, nobody has these things that I had going on, crippling anxiety or candida, or had to go gluten-free, dairy-free. All of this stuff was so hard to do alone. But now there's so many more people coming forward with their healing journey. And so I feel like it's so important for me to share them with you on the podcast. So if you're listening and think you're alone, you know that you're not, and that I'm here for you, and that other people that are going through this are here for you too, and we can heal all together. So today I have Shanley Pearl, who is the owner of boutique marketing firm and the founder of Hungry in Detroit. You can find her on IG, where she shares her love for the city of Detroit and all the food that it has to offer, right? Thank you so much, Shanley, for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Yes, I'm excited for you to be here too, because you've had quite the journey, right?
It has been quite the journey. I can't believe I'm standing almost at the other end of it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I would love for you to share about this journey a little bit. Why don't we start with where it started with your symptoms and everything you were experiencing, before we met?
Cool. So about 2 years ago, I started my own digital marketing firm. It was really high stress, just like starting your own business. So I had about a full year of very, very high stress before I actually met you and got connected with you. But throughout that full year, I was having like really bad back issues, early onset arthritis in my back. Just like things that I shouldn't have been feeling when I was 28 years old. So that was like really, really scary. And I actually got connected with you through a friend, which I was like so pumped about because I would go to doctors and they'd be like, okay, well, we'll just do a back x-ray. And they'd be like, okay, well, you have arthritis, like do these neck exercises. And I'm like, okay, great. So I did the neck exercises, but I still didn't feel great. And my symptoms kept getting worse and worse. You then gave me a food sensitivity test.
We did that test. Yeah. Did you do can you remind me, did you do the small panel or the full panel? You did the 22 foods, right?
Yeah, I just did the small panel.
Okay.
Which I'm kind of wishing I did like the full spectrum, but I can always go back and do it. So it's not a big deal. But I was allergic to eggs. I was allergic to brewer's yeast, as in beer, which I was like drinking all the time, eating eggs on a daily basis. And when I got those results from you, I was like, yeah, that's great, but it's not real. Like I was like, it didn't register with me that I actually had to like stop eating these foods to get better. So I kind of just like didn't do anything with the information that you had given me for a few months. And then I was like, feeling really crap. It was this past summer. I was feeling really, really bad. And although my back had seemed to get better, like I was experiencing all these other symptoms, like chronic ear infections, like chronic yeast infections, crippling anxiety for no reason. I would just wake up and like start having a panic attack. So I really, really had to like hit rock bottom before I took
Sorry, guys.
Are we okay?
We're good, Roger.
Before I took anything seriously, I really had to like have these symptoms that were even like worse than a bad back. You know, like my ears were being impacted. I was having to like literally manually pop my own ears like every 30 seconds. It was really, really terrible. So that's kind of like my come up story, right? And now, 3 months after doing a full candida cleanse, thanks to you, and after seeing so many different like Western medicine doctors, I actually went to 3 different doctors and then an ENT before I hooked back up with you, because I was just like at my wit's end. I had no hope. The doctors thought I was kind of crazy, I think. I was like, I'm having all these weird pinchings in my body. My ears are weird. I keep getting yeast infections. And they were like, here, they basically pumped my body full of antibiotics.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's so what I'm hearing is it started with chronic pain.
Yep.
You got the food sensitivity test because we were talking about how food sensitivities really do contribute to chronic pain and inflammation in the body. And then you kind of ignored them, but then you came around and you did them. You were like, okay, I'm taking this seriously.
Yes.
And it started to make you feel somewhat better.
Correct.
Yeah. But then the ear infections and the yeast infections and all that started coming around.
Yes.
Okay. Then you went to the doctors.
Yes.
And then you were on antibiotics. How long?
For like 3 months.
Okay, so 3 months of antibiotics. And those of you that are listening know that when I talk about antibiotics, if you're on them for long term, they don't only destroy the bad bacteria, which is a good thing when we need them to destroy the bad bacteria, but they also destroy the good bacteria, your first line of defense and army when it comes to, taking care of your gut or preventing any virus or disease coming in. But so you were on them for 3 months, so I can't even imagine how much it started to break it down.
It was so, it was actually pretty traumatic for me, because I would go on them and I would feel like a teeny bit better. And then like a week later after I was off of them, it would just all go to crap again.
Yeah.
So it was like this constant, like 3 steps forward, like 5 steps backward kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was like really, really tough, especially when you're like trying to heal and Western medicine doctors can't figure out what's wrong with you. You kind of feel super, like you were saying before on your journey, like you just feel so helpless. So then within literally 3 minutes of talking to you, you're like, you have candida. You have a candida overgrowth. Like you need to go on this cleanse. So it's been about 3 months since
you did the cleanse.
Since I did the cleanse.
Yeah.
I am now 3 months sober of alcohol. Well, actually, on the 10th, I'll be 3 months sober. But it's super huge for me.
Deal, because it was really not like a part of your identity, but with Hungry in Detroit, for those of you that follow, I'm an avid follower. Like I love seeing all your awesome photos and cool food that you're having. But that was really a part of your identity, was where's the cool drink to get? Where's the cool, food to get? That's definitely not necessarily on a candida diet. So how was that for you, kind of like coming back from that?
I mean, I think as a human, like if we don't evolve, then that's a pretty sad life, So like, this is like my evolution as a human. And honestly, it was really easy to switch, like transition my life, just because I was feeling so crap. Like I was willing to do anything to feel better.
Right.
And so and that's what, at least hitting rock bottom for me, like I was like, I am committed to doing this. Mind you, it was about a year to get to that place where I needed to be like as committed as I am now. But like the no drinking thing has been huge for me. I mean, just like more energy, like my brain functions at a higher like rate. I feel like I'm never hungover. It's kind of amazing.
Anxiety too, right? Because you said you were experiencing anxiety.
Dude, yeah. And alcohol is obviously a depressant. And so it just like kind of spiraled out of control with the alcohol. And then the food was huge too. So I'm still currently on the anti-candida diet. I've cheated like a few times throughout the last few months, but it really is like a new lifestyle for me, and one that I'm so happy to live because I feel so good.
That's amazing. You know, and for the listeners, like I just want to give them some information. So if you're unaware of what candida is, so candida is a bacteria that lives inside of us 100%. We need it. It's in our mouth. It's all over, but it can become overgrown. And when it gets overgrown, the top usually 3 biggest things that it comes from is poor nutrition, poor lifestyle nutrition, antibiotics, overuse of antibiotics, and stress. Those are the 3 pillars. And that's like, hello, normal life these days. So it's very often when I see someone, you know, because they're coming to me with, they've exhausted all their options. They've been bounced around from doctor to doctor. They can't get their gut right. They can't get the other stuff right, skin, all that other stuff. And it's oftentimes that they have like symptoms of this candida. So, you know, it might seem extreme to do something like a candida diet where you honestly, and congrats to you for doing it, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, alcohol-free, coffee-free, or caffeine-free, completely top 5 toxic triggers. And to change an entire lifestyle where it was about eating food at restaurants and drinking drinks and taking pictures of them is an incredible feat. So first of all, very proud of you for doing it.
Thank you. I'm honestly proud of myself. Like it was, I mean, like I said, like you just have to hit, for me, I had to hit rock bottom for it to register with me. So
yeah. And honestly, I felt like that too. It was like I kept cheating or going off, like thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to have this night of going out and drinking, or I'm just going to eat this cake. And I would just keep going backwards and backwards. And it's not about limiting yourself.
No.
It's truly about healing yourself. And now moving forward, we said this on the phone, you can totally have a drink here and there, and it's not going to bring you back 5 steps, but you have to go through this sort of process of allowing the body to heal itself, because it will, given the opportunity. And then you can kind of go back in, but not as extreme as you were before, you know?
Totally.
Yeah. Well, that's so awesome. I know one of the things that I wanted you to share, because you mentioned sort of that breakdown, you know, before you got the breakthrough. And I think people sometimes experience this, but don't often know that that's what it is, or they're just, you know, kind of waiting for a sign. What was the turning point for you that you felt like what were you experiencing? What were the things that made you say, like, no, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing moving forward?
So in January, I went to my best friend's wedding in Hawaii. And the entire time I was literally, I was getting pinches, like I was drinking a lot and eating whatever I wanted in Hawaii on vacation at their wedding. But I would lay in bed at night and I would get pinches like all over my body. Like my body would be completely still. Yeah, like just like little, it's so weird because when I talk to like Western medicine doctors about it, they're like, that's weird. We don't know. We don't know why you're getting that, you know? But yeah, I would lay there at night and I'd get weird pinches. I was having to like I said before, like manually pop my ears. Like your eardrums pop like normally like 69 times a day or whatever. And I was having to do that like all the time. It was like, so I was like, am I going to lose my hearing? Like, what is going on? And this was after I had already been on so many rounds of antibiotics to clear it up, and it kept just coming back. So I just felt like my body was under attack. And when something like, okay, like getting a yeast infection, like whatever, but like when your ears are affected and one of your senses are affected, it's like pretty groundbreaking for a human being, right? You're like, your first thought is, oh my gosh, am I going to lose my hearing? You know? Totally. So that was really like, that's what I was experiencing. I was also having, I mean, is chronic panic attacks the thing? Because I was definitely having those too. And ever since I've like gotten clean, I mean, I have not had, my anxiety has been at an all-time low. Like I have not had one panic attack, not to say that I won't, but like it's been really like amazing for me. And I can't believe just in hindsight, just like, I know it is a big deal, but like just changing what you're eating and changing like your daily habits slightly can literally make a world of difference. And like, I promise everyone that's listening that it's like so worth it and that you can absolutely do it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, because we had a conversation. You called me
Mm-hmm.
when you got back from Hawaii, right?
Yep.
And you were like, what is going on with me? I have these chronic ear infections. I have these chronic yeast infections. The antibiotics aren't working.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about candida. And then I kind of gave you all the information because I know you. Like, I know you're the type of, like, I know my clients. I know if they're the type of person that can handle a lot or can't. And I was like, I'm going to throw a lot at you right now. And it's going to be pretty overwhelming. But just tell me what you think. Like, let me give you all the information. Look it over. And so where were you, like, at that moment? Because like some of my clients get that and they're just like, okay, like, and then I'm giving them the tools to go, but I gave you all the information you kind of had to process. Like, what was your process of integrating and like what you had to do?
I like a challenge. So I was like, again, after hitting rock bottom, I was just like, I will do anything. Like, mm-hmm. I will do anything to get healthy. So like, you giving me a plan, I felt empowered. Like, I was like, okay, finally, like maybe this will work. I've tried all these antibiotics. I've tried all these doctors. I was like stoked. Like, I was so excited that within talking to you, we like developed a plan. You gave it to me. I honestly had my boyfriend help me a little bit too, like on what foods I can eat. Cause he does like the grocery shopping and a lot of the cooking and stuff. And so like really just like living by those sheets that you gave me, I would take pictures of them and I would save them to my favorites on my phone. So when we were at the grocery store, I knew exactly like, oh, if we're getting rutabaga and buffalo or whatever, that's like a meal that I've been eating a lot since it's on plan. It's very good, actually. You blend the rutabaga like mashed potatoes. So it's like very amazing.
Delicious.
I would just have like all of the tools that you gave me readily available. So I never had any questions about like what I could eat or what I couldn't eat. And if I did, I would text you and like, you were so great about being like, yes, no, like that's good, So that was super helpful. Just like having you as a guide and having like your actual guides. I literally have them sitting right here next to me.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, I have a coach, my coach has a coach. Everyone kind of needs a coach when they're going through this.
Yeah.
It is so helpful because like, you just want to make sure you're doing the right thing,
Yeah. I couldn't have done it without I couldn't have done it myself. Like I couldn't have, even if someone diagnosed me with candida, like say a Western med doctor diagnosed me with candida, which they like maybe never would. I don't know. I love them and they have their time and place, but like, I don't think I would have been as successful as I was, as I am right now without having someone to help me with that, which was you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you.
So, I appreciate you more than you know, seriously.
So I'm so happy for you. So I want to kind of share with everybody, because it's been 3 months. You just texted me like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, like, I think I'm cured, So
I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't had any pinches.
Okay.
Like I haven't had like my ears are totally back to normal, which is like huge. I haven't had a yeast infection. Maybe that's TMI, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's been life-changing. And I will still continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you now? Like, how does your life look like moving forward? Because obviously, up until that point, you were actually pretty healthy. You were
so healthy.
You work with health people. And so you actually were pretty healthy, but we kind of had to tighten it up, with some of the sugar and the alcohol and stuff like that. So you started making the changes. About when did you start to see the difference? Like 2 weeks, one month?
About a month in, I think it got worse. Like I was experiencing more symptoms as the candida slowly just like dissipated from my body. Like I had a yeast infection and I was like, why am I getting the yeast infection? I've been working so hard. And you're like, that's like literally the yeast coming out of your body.
Yeah, it is. Like, it has to get worse before it gets better. I tell that to people all the time. Yeah.
But it was like this turning point at about a month in where I was like, dang, I am feeling almost like my old self, which like I try to remember like a year ago, you know, like I'm like, I am almost feeling like back to that point. And so it was about a month in. The thing with candida though is I didn't even realize it, but I was having symptoms years and years and years ago. Like this thing has been growing in my body with like, I don't know how like the technical terms, but I mean, it's been like growing for so long. Like it's like for up to 7 years, I feel like I can like date it back. So like my healing journey might take a lot longer because it's been in there for so long. So that's what my mindset is. But honestly, Jaclyn, I just try to take it day by day. Like I try not to think about like tomorrow or the next day. I'm just like try to get through this day, you know, and like stick to my healing. And yeah, taking it day by day has been less overwhelming than looking like, oh my gosh, a month out, I'm not going to be able to like drink or have fun. Like I can't do that to myself.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm still having fun, by the way.
Of course. Don't we always? Like you can still have fun eating bison and rutabaga.
It's amazing.
And actually you have more energy to have fun too. So
totally.
One of the things I always ask people on the healing journey is, what is your best advice? Like even just a one-liner for anyone listening that's like at the rock bottom right now or contemplating moving forward, you know?
I have 2 pieces of advice. The first piece is just listen to your body. Like, if you feel like you're feeling something weird, you probably are. And there's probably something wrong, you know? And if like, it's like, if something's tapping, like you just need to listen or else you're going to get a hard punch in the stomach soon. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, that's something that I would definitely do. And then just seek the right type of help. I know that's probably easier said than done. But yeah, like before all of this started, I was relatively healthy and I didn't know I went to the doctor because like, that's what you do. Right. And I wasn't really like aware that there was like this other type of like nutritional medicine that could help you. You know, I wasn't even aware that these things that were happening to my body were because of my gut. You know, like I never had like stomach issues or anything. It just kind of came out in different ways. So I think like definitely seeking the right type of help, sometimes outside of the Western medicine world, is very, very, very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to plug you a little bit, and I'm so thankful for you sharing this journey because honestly, like I know it can be a little cathartic. It's like, wow, like this is what I went through, and I haven't shared this before, and you know, it can be like very emotional. Like, wow, I really, first of all, you went through it and it sucked. Then you got yourself out of it, which is amazing, and now you feel so good, which is just very empowering. And I know that some of you and your business and stuff is going to be changing. So what can we expect moving forward? And then tell us where everyone can find you.
Well, everyone can find me at Hungry in Detroit on Instagram or shanleypearl.co. And I think that, you know, like me moving forward, I'm just trying to like crush life basically. Like I feel so good. Like, I mean, I can move. I finally feel like I got over this huge hump and then I can move on with my life. Like we can get married now, we can buy a house, like we can do all of these things that were kind of like, that I was putting on hold because like, I can't do any of this because I got to get my health straight. You know?
Such a good point too, you know, where you feel just stuck. I've been there before where you feel stuck and you feel uncomfortable in your own skin. And when you feel this comfort, you're just like, okay, well, my life can start now.
Yeah, it's like literally like getting over a huge hurdle.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. So it really has, I can't say it enough. It's just, you've been life-changing and I didn't even know what candida was before I met you. And like this whole journey has just been like really one of the most important like journeys I've been on in my life. And I think, I'm happy to be here today to share that with you guys.
It's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Shanley. I so appreciate you being on the show and sharing your healing journey for everyone else. Everybody, listen to this episode, share it with everyone you know about that needs to know about a healing journey. And again, look up Shanley because she's doing big things coming up. And again, happy healing and thanks for being here.
Thank you.